Hi, the time is 11:06. It's still Sunday, January the 26th, and it's me, Michael, right here on the recording. It's just Michael. I'm also known as Magic Koopa, amongst many other different names that I have on different places. But right now, those are the only ones that I'm specifying. Anybody that knows me from Facebook, then you guys are aware of most of my other names. And for the purpose of these recordings, I might upload them obviously I'm going to upload these on Facebook, and I might upload them on YouTube too. If I upload them on YouTube, it's going to be under the Magic Koopa account, which is capital M, capital A, 91, capital K, 00, capital P, capital A, Magic Koopa. And like I said in the other recordings, I'm only stating this for the purpose of, pretty much telling you where to find the information. If you guys can't come across it on Facebook, then it'll be on YouTube or any other type of media that they extract that information from. Because I've seen that a lot of stuff that I post on, at least on their previous accounts, like let's say the Plato 28 account, I see that a lot of it gets kind of like, I'm gonna say ripped, and it gets put into other accounts, it gets put into other like platforms that have nothing to do with it, and pretty much they reroute the information that way. And so I'm just stating it for that reason, that you might find the audio in other locations that's not that, but I'm giving you the sources where I'm uploading them to. One of it's going to be Facebook, and one of it's going to be on YouTube. And the purpose of this live, it's not a live stream, but I'm calling it a live stream for Facebook reasons. And the purpose of this recording is to talk about, I tried doing these recordings live on Facebook, but like I mentioned before, the connection is unstable, where it doesn't let me complete the recording without too many interruptions of the network, or whatever reason, either the location where I'm at, there's so many people passing by. I'm doing this in a public area, and I'm doing this recording in the public area right now. And like right now, there's not a lot of people out here right now, if anything, like one or two. And I mean, like, not the same one or two, maybe like one or two people pass by here and there, but right. So the concept of this recording is I'm gonna talk about, the flux capacitor, bringing the flux capacitor to life, or making it into a real thing. The flux capacitor, anybody that knows the movie Back to the Future, talking about Back to the Future once again, the flux capacitor is the concept that makes the entire time machine work. And pretty much right now we're gonna discuss it. I'm gonna give the specs, or maybe not the specs to the fullest, but maybe the foundation on how to get it started. All right. So for this concept of flux capacitor, it's gonna be I'm calling it the beast of the heart of the beast. All right, the heart of the beast, or the heart of the devil. And the whole concept behind that is that pretty much this heart, or this concept, it's going to contain a spark within it. I'm gonna say it like this. It might not be like that, but to some level it is. It's a never-ending, spark container. If you guys are into Transformers, then this would be the Allspark, of the machines, the Allspark of the beast, the heart of the beast, the heart of the devil, however you guys want to call it. That's what it is. It's a spark, the never dying spark. In Transformers, Starscream contains the endless spark. Anybody, I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit. Anybody that is into Transformers, Starscream is more important than they make it seem in the entire series. And in Beast Wars and other versions of the Transformers, they'll specify without actually specifying but they'll hint that there's a lot of Transformers that were spawned from him. Pretty much they got a piece of his spark, and they contain the same spark. In Transformers Beast Wars, Dinobot is supposed to be Starscream. At the same time, the Pterosaur is supposed to be Starscream also. That I think Depth Charger and I think Project X, Rampage, they're all supposed to be Starscream. In the Transformer movies, you know, the live action movies, Rampage, I think Rampage is the one that they extract the spark. So there's a scene where in the first movie where I think Rampage dies, and they extract his spark and they recreate him. They recreate him as a different version of himself. I can't recall the specifics of the characters right now, but I'm just letting you guys know. Rampage in the live action movie is supposed to be the story of Starscream. They side shifted the story. The whole concept of this is that they don't want Starscream to know that he's more important than he knows it, which applies to the same concept that pretty much the devil, you know, they don't want the devil to know that he's more important than he is, you know. And that's the concept of this, right? So I'm saying, you know, this is me, Michael, you know. Some people know me as Saint Michael, and some people know me as the devil. You know, I claim to be the actual devil, and I claim to be the devil, and I'm just saying it for the purpose of this recording. You know, side note. So I'm gonna give you the way that you create the Allspark or the spark. This spark is intended to power the rotary. You know, it's intended to power it's to make the rotary fully electric, you know, for it not to use for it not to need the combustion part of it. And if this is successful, then the combustion aspect of the rotary won't be necessary. You know, obviously it could still be implemented, but it won't be necessary. And the rotary cars that I've been throwing out there, the idea concept, they're supposed to remove the need of a battery. So pretty much, if the previous rotary concept that I threw out there, you know, prior to the Allspark concept or the flux capacitor are functional, they should be able to power a whole car, you know, and its components to the fullest without it, you know, taking too much energy from the actual engine, without it needing more fuel. And this extra added, you know, I guess measure, it would just remove the combustion engine part that's necessary to start the electrical, you know, aspect of the motor. And with this included, you know, it would no longer be needed. You know, no battery would be needed. You know, it would just be pretty much the motor powering itself, and pretty much the spark would recycle after every use. It would recycle the spark. So pretty much you turn on the car, the leftover spark from the last ignition will be floating around inside the car, and as soon as you start it, you know, you release the spark back into the system, and it triggers the electrical components to kick in, and in the process it recycles the spark back into the system. And pretty much at the moment that you turn off your car, you know, it'll be the same spark, but it'll be recycled. It won't be the same spark, you know, in a way of speaking. It'll be a new version of the same spark, you know, it'll be reborn kind of thing. It's kind of a reborn kind of concept. So every time you turn on your car, you know, you turn it off, you know, the spark restarts, it goes off, it restarts, it goes off. But there's always going to be a spark within the system, all right? And in the computers and stuff, I think they have them like solenoids or stuff like that. But this is not what that is, you know, because that's more like, that's a little bit different. it's a little bit different because this is a more like it's a more powerful concept. All right, so the array is going to be, we're going to call it Merkaba style. Merkaba, if you guys know what the Merkaba is, it's two triangles inverted within themselves, or more, to be more specific, two tetrahedrons, which is like a 3D triangle, inverted into themselves, you know, one going up, one going down, or depending on how you see it, you know, left to right, up and down, you know. All right, so you're gonna need to create a spherical enclosing or housing that's non-conductive. You're gonna need multiple spark plugs, and you're gonna need multiple I'm gonna call them, since I don't have a name for them, I'm gonna call them grounding points. All right, so the array, or the distribution of the array, I can't go into specific detail because, like I said, I'm working off of this theoretically. I don't have the components to specify, so you're gonna have to play around with it for a while until you get the right combination or the right array to set it up. All right, so the whole concept is that you need to get the spark, you know, the arc of the spark plug to keep rolling. All right, so once you have the array figured out, pretty much the grounding points have to keep rotating. So it's going to be rotating grounding points, because technically if you could keep the grounding point moving, then the spark plug should keep going for pretty much forever, jumping around from grounding point to grounding point. And that's why the enclosing has to be non-conductive, so it doesn't interfere with the movement of the spark. So pretty much once the spark plug arcs the grounding point, it's gonna jump from, let's say, the bottom of the, you know, let's think of it 2D. It's gonna jump from the bottom of the triangle to the top, which will be a grounding point. As soon as it hits that grounding point, it'll jump off, you know, that grounding point will connect to another spark plug on the opposite side, which is the reason why it'll be Merkaba style, and it'll reignite the spark for it to need another grounding point. And that moment that happens, then, you know, the new spark plug will jump the arc back to the, you know, the newly created grounding point. For this reason, the grounding points have to be, pretty much, they have to be able to flicker. I'm gonna say flicker back and forth, so that there's only one grounding point at any given point. There can only be one grounding point. All right, so even though they're gonna be enclosed, I don't know if you ever seen those depth chargers that they have, where they're like spherical, or those like medieval malice chains. You know, it's a ball with like spikes. That's the way the spark plugs have to be configured within the spherical housing. All right. At the same time, the grounding points have to be configured within the spherical housing in the same way. Like I said, the distribution of the grounding points in spark plugs is debatable, and it's up for, you know, you're gonna have to play with it for a while before you figure out the right array of it. It might be you might have to create a new spark plug that has a grounding point on top of it. So if you guys know the modern spark plugs, you know, they have like a little like gap. So maybe on top of that gap location, you insert let's think of it like a tiny antenna, which will actually be a grounding point to recollect the spark. All right, those spark plugs have to be able to be made of a material that pretty much you're able to trigger the ground. So it can be a metal that's actual ground. It has to be able to be created, because in order for the spark to keep jumping around, you have to keep moving the grounding location. And that's going to be the concept that creates the flux capacitor. And if that concept works, you know, pretty much there'll be no need for batteries in machines, in cars. And you'll probably be able to, like, if you create a robot, you'll actually be able to power a robot from that. And if any of you know, like, Iron Man and stuff like that, that's the concept behind that. It's just they don't know it yet, because I hadn't done these like recordings yet. But now that I'm doing these recordings and they're gonna be uploaded, then a lot of people are gonna be like, wait, hey, wait a minute, you know, kind of like, oh, this makes sense, you know, and it's kind of obvious, it was there, kind of like, why didn't they think of this before? And so I'm throwing it out there as a token to pretty much for you guys to see that, oh, this is, you know, plausible, feasible, or, you know, a concept that's worth looking into. And if any of this works, this is also gonna be what powers the Holy Grail engine. And if any of this works, and you guys take it into consideration, you know, to let me try to extract the Holy Grail engine and make it a realization, because people have been looking for the Holy Grail for a long time, and I found it a while back ago. And so I think this is gonna be the end of this recording. It was just a quick recording. And before I end the recording, for the rolling pins, for the rolling apex seals, they have to be spring loaded. For all the apex seals, they have to be spring loaded to give it free play, so it doesn't grind on the inner housing. All right. So I described how to do it. You know, if you guys don't know how to figure it out, then you guys are gonna have to like contact me or figure out a way to, you know, reach me. I had these ideas kind of figured out since like 2010. So if everything that I'm saying is possible and somehow it creates time travel, then you guys come and find me in 2010, and, you know, maybe we could get this started before now. All right. So this is me, Michael, or just Michael, saying hi to you, the listener, saying hi to you cool girls on Facebook, saying hi to you cool guys on Facebook, and saying hi to my son Nathan. Hey Nathan, it's me saying hi to you. And I guess I'll see you on the next live stream or the next recording. All right, laters.